Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you very much, Administrator Wheeler, for coming here today. I have several questions about the proposed rollback of fuel economy and air pollution standards for our light-duty trucks and cars. Now, this proposed action is a perfect example of how EPA prioritizes boosting industries like oil industry over public health and safety. Last year, EPA announced a proposal to replace the Obama-era standards with a watered-down rule that will result in increased air pollution and less efficient cars on our roads, harming Americans' public health, American jobs, and the economy. As you know, California is uniquely situated. It has some of the worst air quality in the country. It also has a unique authority under the Clean Air Act to regulate pollution from cars to try to meet federal clean air standards and improve public health. Let me ask you first, have you completed the rulemaking? Is a final rule ready for publication?
It's not been completed yet, no.
Okay, then why did you tell the Washington Examiner last month that you have already decided to revoke California's waiver?
At this point, we are moving forward to revoke the waiver, yes, but the rulemaking is not completed.
Okay, you said, and I quote, to have a 50-state solution, we have to take care of the waiver, end quote. Putting aside for the moment that this is wrong, are you not bound by administrative law to consider all evidence and comments submitted before making a final decision?
We are, and we're working through all those comments, yes.
Okay, I'd like to also discuss the fact that you publicly announced that you would not further negotiate with California. In the same interview with the Washington Examiner, you said EPA made a proposal to California. What exactly did you propose?
Well, that was our proposal that we released last summer, was our CAFE proposal. And I was told, I met with Mary Nichols 3 times. She said that she would get us a counter within 1 to 2 weeks. We waited over 3 months.
My understanding is that
we got a response from
the
California.
back and forth was really not a back and forth at all. I mean, it was nothing that was different than was proposed earlier.
That was our proposal, Congressman.
Well, it didn't go anywhere.
We never got a real counter proposal.
It was the same proposal that you kept moving forward, and you weren't listening to our proposal. Now, Administrator Wheeler, if you actually engaged in good faith negotiations with California automakers, with automobile manufacturers, you could achieve a 50-state solution through a negotiated agreement. And the fact is, even though you dispute this, you really never tried. I want to turn attention to the climate crisis. Last week at the DC Auto Show, when asked about the carbon impacts of your SAFE proposal, you said that your proposed rule, as compared to the Obama standards, gets about the same amount of CO2 benefit. In fact, your staff gave a presentation in September 2018 to the Clean Air Act Advisory Committee that explained that your proposal would increase carbon pollution by 3.8 billion tons through 2050. And the draft environmental impact statement for the proposed rule concluded that your recommended standards would increase carbon pollution by over 7 billion tons throughout the end of the century. That's more than the total annual carbon pollution across the entire United States. Administrator Wheeler, either you're wrong or your staff and the draft environmental impact statement are wrong. What do you think it is?
I've been told by my staff that the CO2 reductions the impact of the CO2 reductions are pretty similar to what the Obama administration would have received would have gotten under their proposal.
Well, that's not exactly what
the Obama proposal had a number of exemptions and off-ramps, and the automobile manufacturers aren't complying with the Obama standards today.
Well,
only 3 companies today are able to comply with
I still believe
this
that
year's
this is not
standards.
It sounds awfully confusing to me. Sounds awfully confusing to me. Another issue that we'd like to bring up is that there's no dispute that EPA used the Omega model in the rulemaking process to roll back fuel economy standards. EPA has refused to release the model. Will you commit to releasing the latest version of the model, yes or no?
We did not use the Omega model for the proposal. We have been working with the Omega model. The last version of the Omega model that was finished in 2016 was released publicly, but we do not release models while we're in the middle of a rulemaking process. No.
Not at all. We'd like to have a little more transparency
Not during a rulemaking process.
Okay, now you may pretend that climate change is not an imminent threat, but Americans across this country are reeling from natural disasters that climate change is exacerbating and it's only getting worse. We urgently need to reduce carbon pollution, not recklessly boost it. And with that, I yield back.